Baby! Look. First of all, I might win an Emmy tonight for this cabinet meeting. Dear Academy, you know, I might win an Emmy tonight because tonight, this was busy. This was busy. Now, my intention was to talk about, of course, and we'll still get to that, but I wanted to, do my post-debate analysis while it was fresh on my mind. My intention was to talk about the mugshots of Rudy Giuliani and all of the people that turned themselves in Atlanta today. And we will get to that. And I see everybody joining. The girls are storming. But this debate was busy. This was busy. First off, hi everybody. I see everybody logging in. Where do we start? Where do we start? Okay, so I know a lot of you did not watch the debate. You didn't want to give the views to Fox News, and I understand that. And you just couldn't stomach what was being said. But part of what I like to do, as not only as a voter, but as somebody who keeps up with stuff like this, is I like to see what the opposition or what the other side is thinking. I want to sit there out the lunch. So a few things here. This crowd, while it was definitely a Republican conservative crowd, I was surprised at how on certain issues the crowd got very silent and didn't give the reaction that I thought that they would give, bitch. I gagged a little bit. When they talked about abortion, the people was quiet. When they talked about climate change, the people, they booed and they got quiet. Like, it's certain issues that I think people are just dealing with in real life at this point that whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or somewhere in between, you are just not for the bullshit at this point, right? And so let's look at the candidates. So in this debate, we had Mike Pence, of course, former U.S. Vice President, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, we're going to get to her in a minute, Tim Scott, bless his heart, Christie, the most reasonable person in the room, Vivek Ramaswamy, clown, put a big red nose on him because he's a fucking clown, and Doug Burgum, bless his heart, just go ahead and drop out. Then you had Asa Hutchinson, former governor of Arkansas. And I'll say this, if there is a winner of this debate tonight, for me it's Nikki Haley. And I never thought I would say that. Nikki Haley, let me just start here. Nikki Haley and Christie were campaigning for America's vote in this debate. The rest of these jokers was campaigning for the base. Let's just be clear here, okay? Nikki Haley, I don't know what happened, but sis, Auntie, was dragging people tonight. And she held her own. And Nikki Haley, when we look at her history, sis isn't, Clorox clean. She got some shit with her, okay? But I was amazed. Here's the thing. I was amazed at how reasonable a lot of her viewpoints were. Like, here's the thing. And this is how I know the Republican Party has gone to shit. Because if I'm a Republican strategist, if I'm the Republican National Convention, if I'm the powers that be in the GOP, I would be galvanizing my support behind two people, Christie and Nikki Haley. Why? Because they are dangerous to Joe Biden. Vivek Ramaswamy, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, bitch. Never is going to win a general election. And I'm willing to bet half of my goddamn paycheck on that bitch. He is crazy, okay? Ron DeSantis, he ain't got the juice. I said it online tonight. Ron DeSantis is nothing more than a soldier who got gaslit into believing that he could be a general. You ain't got the juice. Tim Scott, Martin Luther King, go the fuck home. You're diversity hire, bitch. You've been nervous the whole goddamn night. Asa Hutchinson, I forgot you was there half the time. Doug Burgum, I forgot. Nice man. Doug Burgum was actually pretty cool, but like you're out of your depth. You're out of your depth. Mike Pence, surprisingly, had a lot of gusto and fire in this debate. I was very surprised to see that from Mike Pence. But let's talk about the star of the show, Mother Haley, bitch. When I say she dragged, like it's giving, oh, my scalp. She dragged Vivek Ramaswamy on foreign policy. The thing that I like about watching in these debates is I like to see, in these debates, we know that they're giving prefabricated answers. We know that they're putting their best face forward. But what I love about in my time and experience watching both presidential debates, gubernatorial debates, we've been doing this for some years now, since like 17, 18, so we've been doing this for about 5-6 years now. So a lot of us have experience in watching a debate, how to watch a debate, right? And what I've learned in watching debates over the years is that no matter how scripted or prepared your answers are, eventually these debates go off the rails. And who you really are and how you really handle yourself under pressure is eventually going to show. And one thing that I got to give Nikki Haley, that bitch ate it under pressure. Like, here's the thing. If I'm, and this is how, like I said, this is how I know the Republican Party is stupid. Because Nikki Haley, as I'm watching her, right, and she says some shit and done some shit in the past, I'm like, girl, you fucking crazy. But as I'm watching her, Nikki Haley could potentially have the ability to take those independent voters, those swing voters who are not quite liberal, but not quite all the way MAGA left, MAGA right crazy. She could capture those voters for the Republican Party. And I dare say, those casual Democrats, if sis speak the right language enough, she could get a couple of them too. Because when they asked about abortion, she gave what I liked about Nikki, and I'm mad that I'm sitting here having to champion her, but the criticism has to be as loud as the applause, and I wouldn't be doing myself a service or you if I didn't give you all of what I feel in the facts. Her response on abortion rights was very common sense. She says something, and I'm not quoting here, but she says something along the lines, can we agree that we're not going to send a woman to jail if she gets an abortion? Can we also agree that people should be able to get contraception and birth control? And her response to that elicited a big applause from the audience. So that let me know, hey, this Roe versus Wade shit, this is some old people shit. Because a lot of the new people, the young people, and people, just middle-aged Americans, they wasn't really feeling that. They really service a very specific niche part of the base. Because most Americans is not with that shit. Another thing, her stance on foreign policy, and I love that she stood behind it, made a lot of fucking sense. And when I say she dragged Vivek Ramaswamy, dragged him, she exposed him at a level. When I tell you, between Christie, her, and Mike Pence, they tore Vivek Ramaswamy's ass up. And what's so sad is it scared me. What scared me, about Vivek Ramaswamy is he's a man of color. He is the youngest person in this race, and if elected, would be the youngest president. But his ideology is so in the dark ages and so behind. I was like, this is a young person saying these things? Like, in your mind, you really believe that Donald Trump is the best president of the last, of this century? Really? He talking about bring back coal. But I think the nail in the coffin that kind of killed him with a lot of Gen Z voters was when they have questions from people in the audience, or even they'll have like a video question that some citizen is asked. And they had this young man, he looked like he was a teenager in one of these like Republican academic clubs. And he asked a very real question, very valid question. He said, what is the Republican Party? And I'm not quoting, I'm paraphrasing here. But along the lines of, what is the Republican Party doing with climate change, or what's that stance on climate change? And, a lot of the Republicans, while they didn't say they did not believe in climate change, they didn't say they did believe in climate change, but a lot of them gave very sound answers. Vivek Ramaswamy says that climate change was a hoax, and he got booed. And it was at that moment that I was hopeful. Now, Republicans is going to Republican. Okay? Republicans is going to Republican. But it was certain issues that made me say, maybe there is some common ground here. Okay? Maybe the whole country has not gone to shit. Maybe we are just kind of propping up, maybe media and just us and the frenzy of it all, we're propping up this very small part of the population and making them seem like they're more than what they actually are. Because he got booed for that. Tim Scott is a diversity hire. I'm sorry. He is the one black face that they wanted to make this pool diverse. He looked nervous the whole time. All I kept looking at was teeth. The whole goddamn time. I couldn't focus on what he was saying because I kept just looking at his damn teeth the whole time. So for me, I was like, even when he responded to questions, it was giving civil rights movement leader. And I'm like, where we are as a people, and especially as black people, we're kind of past the Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers style of politics and talking. Not disregarding that piece of history, but, sir, we not in Ebenezer Baptist Church, okay? You are talking to a very diverse contingent of black people and American people, bitch. I'm gonna need you to wake the fuck up, because right now, all I see is a man in a church suit and teeth. That's all I saw was teeth. And when he was talking, it was just teeth. And I'm just like, damn, your teeth are like huge. But, Tim Scott, drop out. Like, you're taking up space. Tim Scott, you can go home. Don't call us. We'll call you. Doug Bergen, you can go home. Go get back on your horse in North Dakota. Thanks for coming out. Exit stage left. Asa Hutchinson, your ride's here. Asa Hutchinson, please report to the office. Asa Hutchinson, please report to the office and pack your things. It's time for you to go the fuck home too. Okay? And when I looked at this, here's the thing. I want to send Vivek home too, but I know after watching this debate, there's some nuts that are going to keep him alive. Vivek is very much, to me, in this formation of Republican candidates, the Ross Perot of this election cycle. It's giving Ross Perot. It's giving used car salesman. And, I should like Vivek. Vivek is the youngest candidate. I should like him. But one thing that I did not like is he came across as very smug. He came across as very elitist. He came across as very dated. And it's like, for somebody like me, who is a single person, who doesn't have kids, and I grew up, you know, in a good, decent home. It wasn't perfect, but he said, the family is, bring back the core family. And he said something about fathers being missing from the home. And you may very well believe that, but I would like to think that I came out very well-rounded for a person who was raised by another man, but mostly a woman. I think I came out pretty fucking good. Yeah, I'm a little sweet, got a little sugar in my tank, but I don't see that as a negative, bitch. That's who I am. I was born this way. So for you to say that, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It did. It rubbed me the wrong way. Mike Pence, this is probably, because I'm going down the line now, this is probably the most personality and fire that I've seen from Mike Pence in our entire time knowing Mike Pence. Like, I felt like I was watching a person debate. Still don't like Mike Pence, but I want to be clear, this is the disclaimer, because I want nobody to be like, oh, I gotta unsubscribe from him because he's giving the GOP the thing. This is not me endorsing any candidate. This is letting you know what it is. Okay? This is me letting you know what it is. Okay? Mike Pence did a good job tonight. Ron DeSantis, stop wasting people money. You wasting people money, Ron DeSantis. It's giving, you know what Ron DeSantis is giving? Ron DeSantis is giving Jeb Bush 2015 election season. If you remember the 2015 election season, Jeb Bush was supposed to be the guy. And he just couldn't be the guy because he just didn't have the je ne sais quoi, you know, to be the guy. But Ron DeSantis is wasting a lot of people money. He ain't got it. He ain't got the juice. It just ain't giving what it need to give. It just ain't giving. Like, I should have left watching this debate saying, damn, Ron DeSantis ate that. I see why he the governor of Florida. I left this debate saying, I know the citizens of Florida are dumb now. I know they ain't got no sense, because how the fuck did y'all vote for this person? Now I'm really looking at the citizens of Florida and y'all laws and shit sideways, because I'm like, how the fuck y'all let this person make it to the governor's mansion? Really? Like, really? And I just think that he can't speak. One thing that bothered me so much about Ron DeSantis in this debate, he did not answer any questions. Every time they asked a question, he would just not answer the question. To the point where the moderators at Fox News was like, motherfucker, you not answering none of the questions. Now wait a goddamn minute. When is you going to answer the question? Now, anytime the moderators are saying, niece, when is you going to answer the question? Anytime, and no shade, I gotta get down, here's something, this ain't got shit to do with the debate, because we talking about facts, but y'all know I get busy. The moderators from Fox News was shellacked, bitch. When I tell you they was beat for filth, bitch, they went to see their motherfucking Botoxologist. The makeup was shellacked, bitch. They was painted down. Sis with the blonde hair was painted the fuck down. The man was painted the fuck down. He had on his Spanx and shit, bitch. They was painted for fucking blood, bitch. Okay? Let's just get that out the way. They look the fuck good. Okay? Now, Christie. Mr. Potato Head is probably the only candidate who I feel like if he became the president, I would still sleep okay at night. I could still sleep okay at night if Christie was the president. And the reason why I say that is because, A, he does hold Trump accountable now. I mean, they all played the game. Let's be clear here. We all know that they played the game and supported Trump. We know that. We know that. We know that. That's a given. We're not dismissing that fact. Okay? But Christie, out of all of them, I feel like if he became the president, I feel like he has the foreign policy knowledge. I feel like he is not going to send the country too far in either direction to where I feel unsafe. And he got common fucking sense. And I know some people don't like Christie, but if I had to deal with another Republican president, my choice, if I had my hand on the steering wheel, would be Christie. And I know what you're thinking, well, you just said Nikki Haley killed it. Yeah, she killed it in this debate. But this is one debate. And sis, a lot of the shit that you were saying in this debate, you was not saying a couple weeks ago at your town hall. Okay? You wasn't saying that. So the thing is, Christie has enough cachet for me that I could deal with that and not think it was going to be that. Nikki Haley, while she sounded reasonable as fuck, like if Nikki Haley had been saying this same shit the whole time, I would be team Nikki Haley. But the fact that Nikki Haley has said some crazy ass shit, and not to mention, her and Vivek got Dawn fucking fired. Y'all know how I feel about Dawn Lemon, bitch. Vivek and Nikki contributed to Dawn getting the fucking boot, and I'm still not fucking happy about that. So fuck both of them whores for getting Dawn Lemon the fuck fired from CNN. I'm still sorry, y'all. I'm still pissed about that one. Yeah. But sorry. But my pressure going up. But the thing is with Christie, he could, like, here's the thing, and I know that, and I'm speaking to all of the Republican strategists and people in the Republican Party who watch these cabinet meetings, because I know y'all do, because I've gotten letters, I've gotten calls, I know that y'all watch. They watch, y'all. They know what the tea is. So I'm going to give y'all a little bit of advice while y'all watching this. If y'all had an ounce of sense, since y'all like to gerrymander, y'all like to move the goalposts, y'all like to play with the numbers, you idiots should play with the numbers and kind of scooch Christie and Nikki Haley to the front of the line, because they are the two that will actually present a problem for Joe Biden. If y'all put that whack job Vivek Ramaswamy or Ron DeSantis in that goddamn general election, they're not winning against Joe Biden. They just not. Ron DeSantis has made too many enemies. He's leaned too far right on a lot of things, to the point where he will definitely not win any Democrats over. He will definitely not win any independent voters. And he will definitely not be able to swing voters, because his stance is too extreme. So you put that whack job, Vivek, hell, Mike Pence might even have more of a chance than Vivek and DeSantis. But the people who, if you put, I guarantee you, if Nikki Haley keep talking the shit she was talking tonight, first off, she opened up the debate with she pulled out the Uzi. Brrr, brrr, when she said, Joe Biden didn't get us here, Republicans got us here. I said, oh shit. Wait a goddamn minute. And then, another thing too, I like numbers. And Nikki Haley pulled out the statistics and the numbers. And when she put them spending numbers on the table, I gagged, bitch. I said, oh, the bitch came with results. But see, here's the thing about patriarchy. And here's the thing about when you support patriarchy because you benefit off of it by proxy, even though Nikki Haley isn't a white woman. But when you as a woman support patriarchy because you benefit from it, you are still going to be a victim of it. Nikki Haley, you're never going to get the nomination. You're never going to get the nomination. And not because you are not a viable candidate, not because you don't present well, not because you can't do it, but you're a woman. And because of the base that you have, but see, I think that Nikki, and I'm talking to you directly, Nikki, if your team watching this, you know that. And that's why you came out with the stance that you came out with, because you know you could never win a Republican primary with that Trump base. You can't do it. They're not going to vote for you. Christie is not going to win. He's not going to get the nomination. Why? He's too fucking reasonable. He's not wearing a jersey. And unfortunately for where we're at in this country, you have to some degree, wear a jersey. And Christie is not wearing a jersey. Chris Christie is not getting the nomination. Nikki Haley is not getting the nomination. The sad part is they are the two biggest threats. The two biggest threats for Joe Biden. But they're not going to get it. I guarantee you, once the smoke clears, even though I think most of the country doesn't want to see it, I think Trump, when we look at the polls, Trump is still leading. Let's be clear here. And let's talk about that elephant in the room, right? So Trump was not at this debate. But the reality is, if we're looking at polling numbers, he didn't fucking need to be at this debate. That's the gagger. So he said, I'm going to let the small fish fight this out. Because I'm already 30 points ahead of my closest competitor in the GOP, which I think is Ron DeSantis. And that's some cold ass shit. Yo is literally getting ready to go surrender in Atlanta tomorrow and is still leading the pack. That shows you how crazy that side of the fence is. Because ain't no way. So let's be clear here. Trump is going to get the nomination. Unless he gets locked up and the Republican Party disqualifies him or some crazy shit happens, he's going to get the nomination. His lead is in the double digits to the closest competitor. Okay? But out of the people that were at this debate, to me, the winner of this debate, when I say winner, meaning that answered the questions, had sound answers to the questions, was able to get in there and engage and fight and go back and forth and spar, actually deliver results in a quantifiable plan, it was Nikki Haley. But you know, at this point, I get excited and I sit and I watch these debates on both sides of the aisle. I watch it in the Democratic debates. I watch it in the Republican debates. I've often seen where female or women candidates are probably on paper and in the debates the best person. But then I saw it with Elizabeth Warren. I'm seeing it now with Nikki Haley. They're never going to get the nomination. The reality is all of this, and I'm going to sum this up because it's getting late. All of this was cute But let me reel everybody that's watching this broadcast back in. Trump is still leading by a landslide, and he will get the nomination, barring the Republican Party decides that, they're going to have a change of heart or disqualify him in some way. But all of this debate, this was fun to watch. This was great to get, to know who's running. But none of these people are getting the nomination. That's just the facts. But if I was a Republican strategist and I was pulling the strings and manipulating the scales, my ass would be pushing Christie and Nikki Haley to the front, because them two motherfuckers will confuse a lot of people in this country. And that's all I had to say about that. If you're not following me online, you can do that on social media at Dapper Dan Midas. You can also contribute to the channel. Cash App or Venmo, Dapper Dan Midas. You guys have a great, 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 great evening. I'm going to be up watching the post analysis on my favorite news networks, and I will see y'all soon. Peace and love.